Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a warm welcome to all of you back again at AMD Presents Sky Esports Pro League powered by Router. Again, this is me, Darshita, and I do have my amazing co-caster. That's going to be none another than Sam. So before we go further with all the detail, let me ask you, how are you doing and what are you feeling about the day today?
The day of comebacks is day 3. There's just one more day left for the semifinals, and this is where I'm super excited. And along with this excitement, you did get a glimpse of our Hindi desk, and along with that, there are various other languages as well. So do head over. Already we are live on YouTube, so make sure you get over to the various desks. Show them some support, show them some love. I mean, if you want, you can even let them know that we are here from the English desk that they did tell us to reach out to you. And also, don't forget to like every stream. And if you're just new, hit that subscribe and also hit that bell icon, because I'm pretty sure if you're already here, you did not want to miss any of these fights. But as you did ask me, Darshita, as I did say, it's a day of comebacks. I'm really excited, especially because yesterday itself a couple of new teams showed us a lot of new things. So I'm expecting that to happen here as well on day 3.
A day of comebacks, but moreover, Sam, it's going to be the second last day. There's just so many things happening all around, as I said. But this evening is going to matter a lot to all the teams playing back there. If you don't make it happen or work it into your favor, that can cause you a lot of problems. But what are you going to get after getting qualified to the grand finals? What is the fight all about? Victory, glory, pride, but the bragging rights of AMD presents Sky Esports Pro League powered by Router, and the first position, the champions take back 5 lakh for themselves.
Exactly. 50% of the prize is what the champions will have for themselves, Darshita. So, this is going to be a huge amount that they will be more than happy to take away, but the journey is going to be still long. As we were discussing, this is semi-finals. After this, you're going to be starting with a clean chit. But yes, there are going to be still 6-digit figures for teams coming in the second and the third place. Once they head over to this finals, that is going to be the grand finals, and after that you will be seeing the fourth, fifth and the sixth place prizes as well. But every day we keep discussing about the MVP position, 50,000 for that player. But before we talk about who that MVP can be, today there's an addition of another map where you're going to be seeing 5 matches on today and tomorrow as well. So the last 2 days of semifinals even more, I would say, extensive as well as intensive. So you get ready, pack your bags and also get in some snacks, because it's going to be a long journey. 5 matches starting off with Erangel, Miramar, Erangel, Miramar, and last match to end it all is going to be again Erangel.
What a beautiful day it is going to be. But for whom? For us, for the audience, and a bit of difficulties for these teams that have been divided into three group A, group B, and group C, where we start with Marcos, Team EXO, Team 7C, Team Forever, CHEMIN Esports, Hyderabad, HYDRAS, Revenge, and Old Hood for Group A. Group B consisting of Tactical, TSM, OR, ENIGMA, CLETS, Blind, SPERO, and Team Insane. And Group C, we have Team CELTZ Esports, Big Brother, Only Glitch, Orangutan, Team RIPxMIZO, Walkouts, Chicken Rushers, and Team Entity.
Brilliant teams, 24 of them joining us right now, especially as we were talking about the 5 matches that they'll be playing. So it's going to be a hectic day as well for these teams. As we said, a very extensive and an intensive one, but a hectic for them, because these placement points, the ones in front of your screen, is what every other team will be looking forward to denying them. Some teams will be looking forward to getting their first chicken dinner. Some teams will be looking forward to gathering a lot more points with their upcoming chicken dinners. We know OR already have 3 chicken dinners for themselves. They might be looking forward to another one. But for all our viewers, letting you guys know, as soon as we are about to come to the second half of the matches towards Erangel, you will be seeing us only exclusively on Router. That's the reason we are letting you guys know. You can install Router if you're new right now. Install Router right now. Head over there. You can watch us on Sky Esports channel itself. You'll be having a lot more fun and a seamless experience, because there is no, I would say, moving on from YouTube and to another place, or Router to another place. So Router is where the destination is going to be for the last few matches. But the immediate destination is going to be the first match. That's where the flight will be taking us. It's going to be Erangel, Darshita, and I'm looking forward to a very interesting flight path.
Interesting flight path, but a smooth play is what I'm expecting today,
Mm-hmm.
as we have been saying this days of comeback. So I guess there's going to be a lot of happening, but something. very smooth is what I am expecting. As we are talking about the fly path and everything, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting with the very first map of Erangel, where the fly path is going to be a straight fly path, but again, completely towards one side. So the areas down there in military base and Novoroknoy, they are going to be completely at a peace for at least some moment.
Little while, yes, there is going to be a little bit of a calm energy going down there, but as we progress, there's going to be havoc rain from various other teams. Talking about the drops, we can see only Glitch. They've already taken their drop, even TSM as well as Insane. So some of these teams will be looking forward to Gatka, Pochinki as well as the Everest that is there, and some of them in Georgopol, such as Orangutan. I think Orangutan are heading themselves to Zarki, whereas Entity they always love Severny, so they will be dropping down there, and none of the teams contest them. But right now, the contestant will also be from the circle, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I think it needs to be a center circle, but because majority of the military base is left out, Darshita, there can be a southern circle as well.
Oh,
Southern
a,
Central.
yes, a great circle is what is coming on our way right now, covering the areas of Pochinki, Rozok, Farm, Milta, a great circle, I would say, preferably for many of the teams. They already have a huge part of the circle, but again, the bridges are something that I'm really looking forward to. On the other sides, the fights that we are talking about, up there we can see, we have a lot of teams gathering together. But out of this, again, it is the same topic, right? At the end of the day, which is that one team dominating and which can make out of all these fights.
Pick up the advantage is what I'm looking forward to. Who is that team going to be? TSM, they are very close, as you mentioned, to another team, but there is, I would say, in their perspectives or in their vision, there's no team close by. And this is the first circle. This is the start of Erangel. So initial drop clashes, that's something that we kind of rarely see, and I think that's what is happening here, Darshita. I will be looking forward to seeing on how these teams as we progress, right? What kind of fights are they going to be getting into? Because the circle right now, and as you said, it's
Oh,
favoring everybody.
it is, but right now, rivalry, look at them. It's almost about to be 3 minutes and they have got nothing. Yes, I completely agree. They found some compounds for themselves, but they are pretty small to get them good ARs. And this is what I was pretty, scared about. Krish, he will be finding himself down to the ground. That's the main issue when it comes to you landing down really late. Krish, he is not just down to the ground, but he'll be confirmed there and there. So it's them having I wouldn't say it's a drop clash basically, but again, landing down late was a great problem for them. Right now, if we talk about tryouts, Sam, there, uh, I don't know what more he can do, but again, he has a UMP to work around with, so maybe a 1v2 is something that he can pull for himself and for the team as well.
He might have the possibility to pulling off a 1v2. I mean, because two players are right in front of him. Let's see if it's going to be happening. MJ is cautiously moving in. He also has an UMP, but look at the direction that he's moving in. He's coming from an off angle. I think this has not been protected. It is, but the drop shot was better from MJ and he immediately knocks. And I think this should be an easy finish, and making sure that that's not the way you try to isolate a 1v2. That's what they want to try to justify. What a brilliant, I would say, read coming in from Team CELTZ as well. Otherwise, there could have been a situation as MJ could have been knocked, and then immediately when Apollo pushed, he might also been taken down, because a UMP in the close range is disastrous.
It definitely is. But right now, look at Desync. This player, he is isolated once again. Celsius Max will found him, and that's going to be one more player down to the ground. So rivalry, I guess, is just left with one of their last player. Not sure of what more can he do, and I guess that is a Uzi without some bullets for him. So it is going to be really difficult for Nikhil to completely manage this fight, and reviving his teammate back to his life is. Possibility next to impossible, right? You see, Desync is in a complete open area. So right now, Nikhil, even if he tries to show some of the pixels of his head will be pop off, and that's going to be team rivalry getting eliminated then.
I can kind of get a glimpse of what happened yesterday that is being repeated here as well. Nikhil was one of those last few survivors, but when he was the last survivor, he did retaliate. But because this is the early stages, he understands he does not have a weapon, and I think he had Uzi on his hands, and that's the reason he could not do anything. And the micro Uzi, unfortunate, he was not ready for the fight as well. On the other end, he was very low in on the amount of health that he had, and eventually we can see CELTZ were a team who played together, isolated players from rivalry, and finished off the first squad in this fight.
Rivalry, not a good start to a day, and to specify the day where a comeback is really needed. On the other side, you talk about team See, yeah, there's nothing initial happening with them. I mean, they have all their hands and everything that they need. You talk about first aid, you talk about good guns, you talk about utilities to play around. They got everything that they need, and moreover, I guess they have vehicles even for rotation. So I guess right now they can be at a complete free situation. But again, there's one more fight happening on the other side. That's going to be TR Aimshot taking one player down. That's going to be about shading of
Okay.
one more player. That's going to be second player eventually down to the ground.
It's going to be difficult. Heroes is now making his entry, but has been spotted because he was taking a vehicle. He does drop down to pick up a fight, but he's getting surrounded, and that's going to be the end of the story for Team RIPxMIZO as well. Another squad being eliminated. It is kind of clean execution coming through. I mean, yes, we can see Scream has been knocked, but that was the only casualty in terms of just a knock, not a finish. So 4 finishes for 2 different teams here, Darshita. The first team who got 4 finishes for themselves was CELTZ. This is going to be the second team who have 4 finishes for themselves. A brilliant play and elimination of another entire squad. We have been seeing, right, multiple times, irrespective whether it's Erangel, whether it's Miramar, a couple of casualties do happen for every team, but this time they're looking forward to clean executions.
See that coming, Sam, too early. I mean, it's just six
Yeah,
and a
this is too
half
early.
minutes, right? We already have lost two of our teams, and right now, if the way these players are looking forward to, look at them, they are just all up with vehicles, everyone in a different vehicle, it can be more dangerous. What I mean to say is, everyone is looking forward to rotation, and rotational clashes is something that can happen at any moment now because. Either you rotate, you get something for yourself, you get something good position for yourself inside the play zone, or maybe getting a late rotation can cause you more problems. So that is something that you need to be really up with. But look at that. I don't know what are you exactly up to. There's a player right behind that's going to be the size of team tactical. So maybe one more fight in upcoming 3 minutes.
There, I think it is going to be happening because Darshita, we did see yesterday numerous times that happened in Erangel where teams were coming down, especially in the fourth, fifth circle. There was just teams, I would say, from numbers of 14 to 15 alive, because of which it became very difficult in whichever fight they picked. They either picked up a fight in the squad that was right in front of them, there was a backfire coming through. If they picked up that backfire fight, they wanted to make sure they clear off backlines, then there is a flank coming through. So there were just too many things happening, and that's the reason fights are getting instigated. At the fight that was about to happen, you did mention about tactical, but they're fighting out with NDT and Hitman. He was out in the open, he did go for a drop shot, but Troy was a little bit better. Now cover is coming in from Dark Lord. He's looking forward to finding the other players.
But look at Clutch, he is holding a complete different angle. So Shadow right now, even if it takes a bit to find more information, he'll be caught and punished badly there and there. Entity, they are looking good for the one player that they got for themselves. But again, you look, it's a complete 4v4 fight, so a bit of confusion inside the entire team can lead them into a lot of problems. Hitman, he is still down to the ground, and I don't even think there are any hopes of him getting revived back to his life until and unless the entity is eliminated completely. But Troy with that grenade, he's trying to take at least one player down, but again, that's not working in his favor.
Right now, Team Entity wants to make sure they execute it brilliantly. Bombed is right around the compounds. That is being read from one of the players of Entity. They have pushed the compound. They're also right at the edges of the compound. But Bombed, it's going to be difficult for him. But Troy, what is he doing? He's just making sure he creates a lot of distraction where Team Tactical are confused, but they need to finish this fight. If not, OR is going to be coming through, and they'll make life difficult for all the teams that is there. Even Entity will be feeling the wrath as well as Tactical, because OR, they want to make sure they get a lot more chicken dinners for themselves. But the circle, you can see it has shifted. It is going to be taking close to a central eastern shift. Not a lot to be worried about. But OR, the team that we were just talking about, they've made their entry. They are looking forward to players, and now both Tactical and Entity have come under the radar.
3 matches today, Sam. Sorry, 5 matches in total today, Sam. So we may expect two chicken dinners from the sides of Team OR because they have been doing
Okay.
it since. I mean, I don't want to be the one playing the bad card or maybe giving a caster curse here, but again,
Exactly. I was about to say that, Darshita.
yeah, I don't want to be the one doing that, but the way this team has been performing since the beginning itself, I do feel like something that can happen. On the other side, Shadow, he's again holding a upper, I would say that he's holding that roof, but OR, out of these two teams fighting, even if OR makes a way out of this, they can accumulate around 5 to 6 finishes for themselves in this fight entirely.
I agree with you, and especially look at the execution coming in. They they're just surrounding the players. Entity make a wrong move. They understand that anytime OR can rush, and because of that, Shadow wanted to make his own execution, becomes a bait. But Dark Cloud, a beautiful grenade come in, but the spray was also there, so immediate trade over there. I mean, same trades coming through, but right now, Entity, they've already lost Shadow. Dark Cloud is on his knees. They are looking forward to reviving him. Troy is the one who's initiating the revive. There is another revive also coming in. I'm not too sure how Hitman survived, and he is also back on his feet. He's going to be patching himself up, boosting himself up, looking forward to the upcoming fights. Hitman again gets immediately knocked with the push coming in from Entity. Troy is down, gets immediately confirmed. Another player pushing. It's going to be Rage. He does find in the initial damage, and yes, knocks clutch. There's going to be the last and the only surviving player who was wanting to push upstairs. He does the initial damage. Where is the next player? Is what he's in search. Tactical, they have still all their 4 players surviving, but look at the brilliant molly coming through. It was from Rage. He makes it happen and eliminates the entire team of Tactical. Oh wait, no, it was Atanki's molly. I was confused, but Atanki was the one who completely destroyed everybody. Rage is still surviving, the last surviving player for Entity. Can he make it happen? The damage is being done, Darshita.
The damage is being done, and they are looking forward to completely eliminate the sides of Rage. But again, Rage right now is just looking forward to patch himself up completely. The sides of Team OR, they have decided to go ham on the sides of Rage. But Rage, I doubt he would be able to pull off a 1v4 here. He's been caught into a different scenario. Aditya needs to be a bit careful, and there you go with the drop shots coming on his way. Atanki will be the one eliminating him, and that's going to be one more team getting eliminated. I haven't seen this happening past any matches that I have casted here. The way this lobby is turning out to be, man, oh man, these players are just going ham, and they are not even caring of what position they are on, or it's just an initial fight. They are just going ham on their enemies, and they are making sure to eliminate them completely.
This is the second circle, 12 minutes on the
Exactly.
clock. That's all, and we are seeing 3 teams being eliminated here. 4 to 3 teams. I mean, I'm so confused. I'm unable to put the proper numbers. I mean, yes, you can see it's going to be 3 teams that are eliminated, 16 in the lobby, my bad. But right now, Enigma, they do have the circle advantage, but not the compound advantage. They're out in the open. One team is already adjacent to them that is going to be rotating. It's going to be Celsius. Finally, we get to see their name. But Celsius also, they understand fighting out in the open is an easy invitation for every other team. But as they're rotating, they can hear the vehicles coming in from blind. They don't know that this is going to be the exact team. They just know it's going to be an entire squad. Let's see if it's going to be blind getting into the compound first and then retaliating all the other way around. But the team Enigma we spotted first. They're initiating a fight with Big Brothers.
Position can really be devastating for the team, but on the other side, we have CELTZ fighting the side of Team Blind. Max will be finding one on Master, but Master will he be better? No,
Max!
no, you don't do that. You have to check your back. For that, the second player goes down to the ground. Max is setting things on fire, and that's going to be Team Blind getting eliminated. Celsius will be gathering themselves 5 minutes. 2 players down to the ground, but can be revived. Oh no, my bad. One player is still alive, and that's going to be the last surviving player, Killua. What is happening? Killua, I don't know what more he can do in this entire fight. Apollo, he knows his location, but the players down to the ground are already confirmed. So Killua, he needs to make a run for his life, and that is something that he's looking forward to.
Exactly, he's taking his buggy, he's making the run for the hills. Right now he has a compound, he's able to patch himself up, he has a medkit to play with, but the amount of damage on his helmet, somehow I'm not too sure how his vest survived, but he'll be a little bit happy about that. But there are a lot of helmets in the building that he's in. He'll be immediately changing up his helmet, maybe even looking forward to a level 3 if he finds it. But what a way to survive. You can see Blind finally getting those confirmations. OR find players from Celsius, and this is why we talked about this. If you pick up a fight out in the open, it gives an invitation to every other teams. Now with, I would say, Artemis being found. Okay, Artemis not from Celsius, he's from a different squad. I'm a little bit missing in terms of the names, but we'll eventually know. And yes, it's going to be CELTZ, and Atanki, he gets the initial knock, but immediately gets traded for another knock on Atanki. But a grenade coming in from Aru, he takes down Substitute.
So much happening all around. Enigma, Avi on the okay, Atom is there, will be confirmed by Aru. Avi on the other side is looking forward to take some frags for his team, but again, they just have right now. That's one finish for them. On the other side, Aru being the grenadier will be taking one more player down. So right now, only Rocks is going to be the last hope that this entire team has. Out of the window, can't do so much, can't pull off a 1v3 right here, and that's going to be Team OR getting 6 finishes for themselves. Yes, I completely agree for the fact that they have lost one of their players, but again, losing one of your players and in return getting 6 finishes for yourself ain't a bad deal, right?
I I second that. I mean, especially with you having so many finishes, one casualty is bound to happen. But yes, if you're able to make sure all your four players are standing somewhere down the line, when we get into the end phase, you will be able to get that winner chicken dinner for yourself. But this fight that we saw very early on being initiated, Big Brother somehow managed to dodge it. But right now they are getting back into the fight with Enigma. I think they were just wanting to get into that confident position, and now that they have the confident position to push back Enigma, that's what they're doing. The grenades are coming through. There is mollies. There's going to be smokes to prevent any kind of vision, and Hellgod, he's ready with one of his own grenades towards a tree where Eggy is trying to hold off, but right now wastes a lot of time. The grenade was getting cooked, and it connected. Brilliant time coming in, and it's going to be Eggy falling, and that's going to be an easy and a quick finish that Hellgod will be wrapping up for himself, but he had to back off and gets punished from Avi.
Finished really bad, finding himself down to the ground. But again, TSM Blaze on the other side, he'll be trying to find something more. Okay, that's gonna be a Beast OP there. He's running low on his HP again, needs to patch himself up. But before doing anything, he'll be caught by Evo, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And that's going to be one more team getting eliminated. This is just going so fast. On the other side, that's going to be Trigger taking down Atanki and completely eliminating him. So Team OR lost one of their players. It's going to be them surviving with two players. On the other side, Team Insane playing with three players and already finding themselves low on one player. Adi, he was down to the ground, but he's been revived back. Insane Adi will be confirming Team Forever player 5. TS Hitman down to the ground with a grenade that MJ did a while ago. He's looking forward to some new executions, but that will be punishing him bad, and that's going to be one more player down.
There are going to be a lot more players down, but Celsius, they need to execute it a little bit smart. They have the opportunity to revive their player, but I think before that could happen, they'll be looking forward to finishing off the players. Dreams is very up close. MJ is coming in terms of providing cover, and he deploys a smoke. There should be an opportunity that he should look forward to capitalizing, but OG's Ash spotted him out. The initial damage and the connection with his rifle was done, but the knock has not been dealt. So MJ still has the possibility of reviving his players, but before that could happen, as you see, Dreams will be confirmed as a finish. MJ will also get caught from Adi, and the close range smoke near the tree did not work out. All Insane wanted to do is make sure that their players come back to their feet, and that's the reason they were just wasting time. But right now, AKOP also from OG, he gets knocked. Unfortunate for him, but Insane Neo, he gets found and finished off.
He gets finished off the trigger. He is trying to go in for grenades, but will that get a connection? There goes one more grenade, and it goes boom over Insane player 5. That's going to be him down to the ground. Trigger will be confirming it. Believe goes okay, one grenade from Believe goes to the sides of Team Insane, and that's going to be one more player down. Team CELTZ is looking really good and aggressive at this moment with 9 total finishes that they have gathered for themselves. And on the other side, when you talk about OG Sam, 7 finishes, and they are looking forward to more and more.
OG won the chicken dinner. I think OG are going to be one of those teams who have just gotten a single chicken dinner. They're looking forward to a lot more because OR have actually raked up, and they want to make sure they get to the top. And if this map, the Erangel map, actually starts off in their favor, they'll be feeling really good. But out of the blue, without, I would say, doing a lot of heavy lifting, only Glitch having all their 4 players surviving, find one player from Enigma. They're looking forward to doing the damage, and you can see Rex has been found. Another confirmation coming through. Immediate knock and finish, and only Glitch last moment fights, but still it's working on, and especially this time because now in the 4th zone you can see so much space is there, and now as we head over to the 5th circle, there is going to be even more space because a lot of these teams started early on in terms of the fights, and now as we are coming into the later few stages, that time it is not a cluster being created, but it is going to be strategic and team called fights. So they are ready for the fights that they're looking forward to and getting into. It is not like somebody else is starting spraying on them and they have to retaliate, and that's the reason we can see a lot of these teams are feeling confident. But look at the entry that OR have made. They're right at dead center of this 5th circle.
Seen this happening before, didn't we? We have seen OR holding the centers and making it work in their favor. But again, letting you know, ladies and gentlemen, we will be switching exclusively on router at the start of 3rd match itself. So again, you have some time to go to Play Store and download router so that you don't miss any of the actions, because these actions are going to get more and more interesting at the last 3 maps. And this is what Sam says every time. So I do completely agree with that, and you have to make sure that you download router. Coming back to the fight, Sam, here, that's going to be the sides of Team OG. As you said, they are looking forward to a beautiful chicken dinner, a delicious chicken dinner for themselves. But again, right now they have their crosses set on the sides of Team OR.
TSM who have their crosses on OG and believe will be blasted off Erangel, maybe hoping to meet him in Miramar. I mean, rocket jumped him is going to be the word I would want to use, but OR are also coming in terms of a little bit of a difficult situation. Aru gets found. I'm not too sure if OR Jelly is still surviving. We will eventually know very soon because in I would say the live status, we can see that OR still have one player surviving, so they do have 6 finishes going on for them. Jelly should look forward to surviving, but TSM, they understand the circle has shifted a little bit further and the timer for the circle has already come down to 0. So the blue zone, it's going to be shrinking. The play zone can do a lot of damage and they have to look forward to getting into a lot more compounds, and that's the reason they're slowly rotating, but with vehicles, because at the last stages in this open fight, vehicles might be one of your only saviors, and right now it's going to be Shadow OG who gets one. But in the meantime, you did have a chance to see OR Jelly getting finished off. That's going to be the end of OR.
Completely agree with that. Shadow on the other side is looking forward to take something more for his team because he their team TSM. This is not what it looked like every day. So there's something or the other that needs to be cleared or found out. But Blaze will be finding some more. There you go, Blaze.
Oh
Fully
no!
low on his HP, but no, what did just happen? Team TSM. What? Why did you do that? You are on the edge of the play zone, and there you go. Blaze was a surviving player. He went down due to play zone.
Exactly. He took a fight, did the damage, got the finishes, but then the play zone also pushed him and he got eliminated. But right now, talking about Chicken Rushers, they did lose current, but the other players are still surviving and they're making sure walkouts do not get inside the circle. But look at the 6th circle. None of the teams are inside. CELTZ, they're the only team who are very close. But I think Max has been spotted from Only Glitch, and Only Glitch are trying to hold him off as much as possible. Or Max is playing off on some different strategy. But in the meantime, you can see you are OP will falter. That means that walkouts have lost another player, but in all these chaos, it's going to be Only Glitch having all their 4 players surviving. So it's going to be a 3v4 situation, and I hope the team having 4 players can survive, and Only Glitch, they'll be hoping for it to happen. But the last surviving player is going to be Mr. Spray. He has been spotted, and a passenger with the buggy coming in from Chicken Rushers makes use of it and immediately eliminates the last surviving player, Spray God. I will Mr. Spray, and after that now it's up to the last 3 surviving teams.
In a need of vehicle, and what did they do? They eliminated one entire player to take to snatch away the vehicle is what I would say. On the other side, as you were saying, yes, it's going to be difficult for them to survive, but MJ, this move can be a bit dangerous. Jard Boy there will be finding himself down to the ground. Fruit Juice on the other side is trying to take the downstairs down to the ground, completely eliminating, but that's going to be a 1v1 situation where both won't be surviving, and that's going to be Gurip eliminating him completely. One grenade coming. That wasn't a grenade. That was a vehicle explosion. One more player down to the ground. So Team Chicken Rushers, though they tried to have an entry inside the zone, they were denied completely by the sides of Team OG. What did just happen? Vehicle explosion coming, and that's gonna be OG Fruit Juice getting eliminated completely.
OG, they had all the 4 players surviving, but they're faltering one after another and no reply. What are you doing? You can make your way into the circle, but you're just going in for a heal battle. He uses the medkit to patch himself completely up, but I think at the last second he let go of it, and yes, he did. He had 2 medkits over there. He was using one of them, but it did not completely finish off in terms of the timer, and he let go of it, or maybe he pressed another button and he got finished off from the play zone. Only Glitch had all their 4 players surviving. How did this even happen? But CELTZ, look at them playing smart. We did see them a little bit back where they were all outside the circle. You know what they did, Darshita? There was an airdrop next to them. I want to let the viewers also know they completely looted it up, made sure they had all the resources going in for them, and look at them. They have good helmets, they have weapons, they have resources, grenades, smokes, anything you call, and they're going to be dumping them on top of Chicken Rushers, making sure they come on top of this and win this chicken dinner for themselves.
About to say that, Sam, you just snatched away one sentence from what I was about to say, but one grenade goes from Apollo and goes boom over Vampire there, so that's gonna be one more player down to the ground. So Chartboy is the last surviving player where he can, please don't come under that vehicle. Chartboy will be spotted, and that's going to be Team Celsius getting the winner chicken dinner in the 3rd day of semi-finales of AMD Skyesports Pro League powered by Router.
We did talk about this, right? There is going to be day of comebacks, and it has already started. Teams are looking forward to getting their comebacks, making their way into the overall standings. Because right now, it's not about being on the first position or being on the 16th position. It's staying in the top 16. That's what actually matters. Everything else, it goes in hand in hand. If you're able to be in the top 16, you will be making your way into the grand finals. You have nothing to worry about, and your actual performance you can showcase it on grand finals. But right now, for our viewers, the next upcoming performances, I mean the matches after the second match, yes, you can still stay tuned here if you want to enjoy the experience on YouTube. The second match, that is Miramar, is going to be happening here, but immediately then we are going to be switching to Router. So I would suggest, why to have an interference in between, jump over to Router and watch it completely seamlessly, and you can enjoy it there as well, because there is no, I would say, as we said, right, a moving situation, or maybe you have to put a stop to YouTube and then jump over there. Make sure you're heading over there, because we are going to have a lot of fun in the last matches, and I'm looking forward to it, Darshita. But what a way to start the first match.
I say about the map is something that I'm thinking again and again. I mean, we always keep on saying that till the third or the fourth zone, we always have no fights happening, or maybe it's like players just looking forward to the play zone and they're making sure that they are safe and secure inside the play zone. But today, as we started off, we saw one team fighting, and if I'm not wrong, that was Team Rivalry there. They
Mm-hmm.
were isolated completely. I mean, they just got down way too late, and I guess that was the reason they didn't found anything for themselves
Yes.
until 3 minute mark. And you already know that until 3 minutes, many of the teams have already initiated their rotation. So at this point of time, you still gliding can be really dangerous. And I guess that was the only reason, not just one, not just two, but the entire team was eliminated there.
Yeah, rivalry, unfortunate for them. I think it's because of the flight path. You saw the military based island was somewhere left a little bit further away, so they had to. I mean, it was not that they had a choice in terms of going to a different position. They were comfortable, they wanted to go there, but they did not predict that there will be an entire squad which will be waiting for them, which has already dropped down and gotten the loot for themselves. So Celsius picked up an advantage, and Celsius from there built confidence and did not stop. They rolled in and got close to, I guess, 14 finishes. They already had 12. They finished off the last team, which was Chicken Rushers. There were 3 players or 2 players standing from that team, and they took down them as well. So they should be somewhere close to 14 and 15 finishes if they have done that. And as we know, there's going to be 15 points of placement they'll be getting for the chicken dinner. A 30 bomber match has been pulled from Celsius, and these kind of matches is what is going to be giving you a boost, a super jump into the top 16.
Performed it. I wouldn't say even performed. I would just say that they did an amazing job
Mm-hmm.
overall. It wasn't them. See, we have seen this happening again and again, right? We see that
Yes.
the team getting highest number of finishes, they do perform brilliant in the end, at the end of the play zones, or maybe at the end of the matches. But what did Team Celsius do? They started performing from the start itself. They started building themselves from the scratch itself. So at the end of the day, when they know that they are in the last circles, they can make it happen in their favor, and it did work for them. It did work for them at the best. It was like one grenade which Apollo threw, it just went boom on the enemies, and then it was the last surviving player. What more could Jad Boy do there? He had no other options than just waiting for information. But again, a vehicle was enough, and that's where was everything done and dusted. But as usual, we need to see things twice, because these moments were something that we weren't able to forget anyway. So coming back to the highlights, it all started with the sides of Team OR making a third party between these fights, and Atanki taking the last finish for himself.
Entity and Tactical. We thought that Entity were the ones to finish off Tactical, but the Molly
But
coming in
this,
stole that. But the play coming from Celsius Max, the way he hid there, and the other players just pushed out, just looking forward to fighting right in the front, and eventually started falling apart. But OR also brilliant executions coming in from them. Then we saw an initial connection was from Enigma Gaming. They wanted to take down Big Brother Esports, but Big Brother Esports, they timed it to do a perfect, I would say, retaliation, but they were unable to isolate the players. Only one player was isolated and immediately confirmed from Enigma. Every other player played together, covered each other, and Big Brother Esports, because of that, fell apart.
I do completely agree with that. On the other side, insane. They already were low on one player. I mean, it was just them playing with three players, and after that, we saw them having a fight with the sides of Team It was Celsius, if I'm not
Celsius.
wrong. Yes, it was Celsius. But again, Celsius retaliated that fight in a beautiful way. They made sure that each of their players are alive. They lost one of their players, but again, they gained a lot out of that entire fight. OG on the other side, I mean, I am not again sure of what exactly happened here, because the way OG was performing, it was pretty good, and it felt like they can make it happen. They can make it work in their favor. But Suno, he took one player down. Rashid was down because of the vehicle explosion, but Suno was caught on the other angle by the sides of Team Celsius. MG was the one to take him down. Apollo, again, look at the grenades Apollo have done all this time. He just went ham on the enemy with enough amount of grenades that he had, and this is how everything started. This is how everything ended, right?
Exactly. This is how it started. This is how things ended. Uh, but Darshita, as you said, there was a situation, there was a chance for these players and teams to get their chicken dinner. I mean, especially talking about Only Glitch. You saw Only Glitch had the opportunity, but what did they do? Even I was confused. Why didn't they actually get a chance to get to the victory position? The main mistake that they did was they picked up a fight with chicken rushes. That is true, you had to do it because they were in your back lines, but they did not pay attention to where the circle was. The circle was in their favor. What did Celsius do? They punished them for not paying attention to the circle. They came from the hindsight. They started looking forward to picking players one after another, and you saw Suno, he had no clue that one player was right behind him and took that entire advantage, and Only Glitch managed to, I would say, vanish. Yes, they're going to be coming in third, so they'll be getting close to 10 placement points. You saw finishes were not there. There was only 2 or 3 finishes because they picked up fights later down the line. But yes, there are going to be a lot more fights, especially as you saw. We are going to be having 5 matches today. You might be wondering, there were 4 matches today. How an extra match? I mean, our viewers were really enjoying the matches, so we thought let's add one more to the intensity, Darshita.
You are stealing everything that I wanted to say. I mean,
Casters think alike, right?
yeah, that's very true. Everything that I wish to say, you're just stealing and stealing it. But again, letting you guys know, as my amazing co-caster said and stole things from me, we have 5 matches for the day, and that's gonna be Erangel, Miramar, and again the last map that is going to be Erangel. So Erangel, map that is a fan favorite map, I would say, or a map that is being played at the highest number will be played thrice. So you get advantage, I would say here. But talking more about the point that I was about to say, I mean, as I said a while ago, Sam, I just wished that Team OR could get 2 chicken dinners at least today after playing 5 maps. And we always know that Team OR is a team which has an upper hand somewhere in the map of Erangel as compared to what they play in the map of Miramar. So again, 3 chances for them, 3 chances for each and every team. But the groups keep on exchanging. B into C is what we saw today, and saw in the previous map. The next upcoming map, we are moving forward to A into B.
We're going to be seeing Group A and B fighting it out, and OR still have a chance because, as you said, right, 2 chicken dinners, they are going to be playing in Miramar. They're going to be playing again on Miramar. That is going to be the 4th match of the day, and to end the day as well. So, 3 matches, and in total, 4 matches OR will be playing. One match they've already played. They were looking great. They had close to somewhere, I think, 8 to 10 finishes, but the last fight, it did not work in the favor. And you saw them, we saw them, and they were right in the dead center. But unfortunate, this time the dead center did not work like the map of Miramar. This time they were just caught out in the open, and this map is not a Duni map. There are going to be luscious greenery here and there, but that will not help you in providing cover. You might be peaked out. I mean, it's not even luscious as much as Sanok, so you will be feeling difficult. But when this prize comes in front of you, this creates a little bit even more a chaotic situation and a pressurized battle, Darshita, because they all know they are fighting in semi-finals and they will not get access to any of these prizes in the semi-finals. They have to push themselves to the grand finals, and that's when they'll be unlocking this massive 10 lakh prize pool.
Have to push them to the grand finals and start everything from scratch. That is going to be the most important point. Like the amount of numbers that you gather right now, you aren't taking them forward to the grand final. So the only option you've got again is to start performing from the scratch and make sure that you get double the amounts. But again, talking about the amounts, let's come back to the prize pool split up. 10 lakhs is what the entire prize pool is, but moreover, 5 lakh is what the winning team is getting. As you said, 50% of the prize pool is what you are getting. The second position gets 2 lakh 50, the third gets 1 lakh, fourth gets 50,000, fifth gets 30,000, sixth gets 20,000. But again, Sam, MVP, individual prize that we have for the most valuable player throughout the tournament, and he is going to be rewarded with 50,000 for himself alone.
I'm confused who that player is going to be because a
Yeah,
lot of them are fragging out of their mind. And I would say they are playing based on I would say the game, how it progresses, and especially when maybe they're one of those last surviving players. We saw here Nikhil from Rivalry, the first team who got eliminated on Erangel. We thought that this time he would retaliate, but the time we thought he would retaliate, he actually did not retaliate. He wanted to run away. I understand the weapon that he had in his hands. I mean, even if he had a UMP, he could have tried something, but that Uzi, it's going to be like a mad gun. You cannot control its spray that easily, and it's going to be making life difficult. And especially a long range one, that's not the weapon to play with. If it's a close range one, that spray will also prove in terms of an advantage because you can be moving around and eventually connect those shots. And I think that's where Nikhil made sure he wanted to run away, but all the angles were covered from Celsius. They did not let him do that. But you have to presume these kind of fights, as we see, it is not going to be getting easy. Teams will understand how a specific team plays, where you drop, and how they need to rotate around you, or they have to rotate through you. Through you in the sense, pick your battle, finish your squad off, and then get control of your area. And based on where the circle shift, they switch, I would say, shift to another position in that manner. But now it's going to be Miramar. Irrespective of what your thoughts are, this is going to be a very open map. You have to think twice even before thinking of a rotation.
wait. Before we talk about Miramar, there's one more fight that I want to specify right now. So
Okay.
I am taking you guys back to the back to some history. But yes, what happened with TSM is something that I wanted to talk about. Now
Mm-hmm.
we saw how TSM was fighting. They were making they see. It's like TSM right now is in the hunger of finishes. We have seen
Yes.
this team being really aggressive. This team, even if they knock one player down, the entire team goes together, they rush together, they completely eliminate the squad, and that's how TSM gets a good number of finishes for themselves. But starting from the first day itself, I haven't seen TSM getting on this flow. What I mean to say is we have seen them performing. This is not what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that they aren't performing, but again, the way the things are going, it's not working in their favor. Even today, they went for a fight, but again, Blaze was the last surviving player. And why did the entire squad get eliminated? That was because of the play zone, right?
Exactly, paying attention. Good thing you brought it up at the right moment when we were heading to Miramar, because this is where we see a lot more play zone damages coming through. Whether it's knocks, whether it's finishes, the play zone is merciless here. It's going to be looking forward to taking players one after another and making life even more difficult. And TSM need to pay attention to that. We always keep saying you have to pay your due respect to the circle. Make sure you're inside that, and especially when you have your advantage in the first few circles, first, second, and even third, I would want to bring it. It's going to be a little bit bigger where you don't have to worry about clusters, just like we saw here on Erangel. In the starting few, I would say 6 to 8 minutes, we saw at least 3 to 4 squads being wiped, and the fight did not stop there. Every other team were rotating and immediately picking up fights. Celsius, at least from the 6 minute marker to the 15-minute marker, in between that, they already picked up 2 fights and got on top of that and had finished close to 10 finishes in their bracket. And yes, before ending, we did see them having 12 finishes. Unfortunately, they got eliminated in a position that they were, you say, right? Wait. I'm sorry, my bad. Confusion here. Celsius had 12 finishes. They
Yeah,
got
I
the
was just
chicken dinner
thinking
for
about that.
themselves. I was talking about CELTZ, who I just saw.
Yeah.
They were looking good. They immediately traded, but then OR rushed on top of them and made sure they do not survive for further long. And unfortunate for CELTZ. So these kind of situations do happen. You need to pick your battles and the right ones. And if you're able to isolate fights, finish it off as soon as possible. If you prolong it on Miramar, it's going to be very deadly. And TSM, as we saw them, the circle, the play zone, it's going to be something that they have to pay attention to. Otherwise, they will be eliminated and sent back, and their chance will eventually fall in the third match of Erangel.
Third parties in Miramar. It's about fourth parties, it's about fifth parties, and parties and parties. The parties
Mhm.
that we are hosting, we ain't getting invited in is, the
I don't
entire
want to
point.
be in that battleground, Darshita. I mean, I know I'm going to
Okay.
be the first to pick. I might eventually even get banned. So I don't even want to
Okay.
get into this party.
I mean, as you said, right? If you prolong a fight, that's gonna be you inviting one more team to join the party, and then
Yes.
this goes on forever. There's no stop, and we have seen this happening multiple times. So again, coming back to Miramar, as you said a while ago, these teams need to make sure that the fight they take, they either complete it in. They either complete it as soon as possible, or maybe just run for their life. That's the only two option they get. If you wait for way too much, I doubt they will be able to survive throughout this map here.
Fighting is going to be one thing that every team needs to do, but as you said, they have to calculate which fight and they do not need to prolong any of them. But yes, there is a fight that I want to kind of get back into on Erangel. Yes, these are going to be giving us hints of what can happen on Mirror, how these teams can execute. It's going to be something that went wrong between the fight in Enigma and Big Brother Esports. Enigma and Big Brother met each other. Enigma did do the initial damage, and then Big Brothers immediately went back. They disengaged, and in between that, we saw the fight of Celsius as well as Blind. Once that fight ended, again Big Brothers, they themselves pushed in front of Enigma's faces and wanted to pick up a fight. Hellgod got a brilliant knock with his grenade and also an immediate finish to, I would say, take advantage on top of Enigma. But what did he do? He overextended, gave away his position, and as soon as he got knocked and finished, every others wanted to start pushing in, and they did not cover each other. Rather than covering each other, they went YOLO solo, all the three players. So it was a 3v3 situation, and still they fell apart one after another. Only one knock was dealt from Big Brother sides to Enigma. On the other end, they completely wiped out Big Brother Esports, and Enigma got those 4 finishes for themselves. Yes, with a casualty, but nonetheless, these are the kind of fights that you need to kind of think twice about. I'm not too sure how it's going to be working out here because, as we said, Miramar, you're giving your opponent an open invitation. And if you pick up a fight, yes, it's going to be good, especially in the starting few circles, because there the amount of information you can relay to another team is going to be lesser, because in the first few circles the distance and the clusters is going to be something that you don't have to worry about.
Completely agree with that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, match three reminder: Erangel is going to be on router. I know I'm repeating myself on this again and again, but such a beautiful audience like you is not something that we want to miss back on router. So I hope you guys already have downloaded router on your phone, and you are seeing this live on router. So make sure that you guys do that. But with that, we have our upcoming map. That's going to be the map Miramar. Hearing this name, sometimes I feel like a bit scared. But again, what is the most important part right here is going to be the flight part. That is starting things from Impala, further taking it to the areas between Trailer Park and La Cabrera up there.
Day one, we saw the flight path to be in a similar
Yes.
fashion. Day two, we saw the flight path being north to south, south to north, that only being repeated. But today, again, this flight path looking similar to the day one. Yes, day one's flight path was completely a little bit northern favored, but this time we can see close quarters of Los Leones also being covered. Yes, for teams going down to Valle del Mar or Chumacera, it's going to be a little bit difficult. And teams choosing that Darshita, just like we saw rivalry getting eliminated, they might be eliminated. But now, for you guys to know which teams are fighting it out, it's going to be EXO, Mako, 7C, Team Forever, CHEMIN Esports, Hyderabad HYDRAS, Revenge Esports, Old Hood, TSM, OR, Enigma Gaming, Tactical, Blind Official, Team Insane, CELTZ, and Team SPERO. OR, they got their first victory yesterday on the second match itself. Today they started on first match, but they could not, I would say, get the victory, but they got the finisher. So let's see if they'll be getting back their victory like day 2 here on Miramar.
Something that we are always alive on, right? So yes, again, I hope that this may happen. But coming back to the map and the play zone, there's going to be a play zone shrink up there. I'm pretty happy at this point of time that we are not going to Los Leones. Yes, somewhere down the line, some parts of
I'm
Los
sad.
Leones, no, I am happy for the fact that we are not going to Los Leones, because I'm
Okay.
really tired of Los Leones right now. I want some beautiful fights, some different fights happening on those upper areas that I was looking forward to. But again, if BGMI gods are not pretty happy with what I'm saying, they will probably take me down to Los Leones. I
Maybe,
doubt, but again.
Yeah, I mean, only few compounds of Los Leones are there, so Los Leones might be out of the picture, so you can be rejoicing about that, Darshita. But I'll be a little bit sad. But now I'm not too sure what Akshay wants to do. A lot of the. Oh wait, I'm a little bit confused on how to inside a building. But before we kind of understand what happened there, let's see the fight because it's going to be Old Hood Esports team RIPxMIZO. One player who's stuck on a rooftop and Assault looking forward to denying him any position. The initial damage has been done from Assault, but the reload comes through. That's the reason he had to get back into the building. 7 bullets on the AKM. I'm not too sure if he has a magazine. Yes, he has, fortunately for him. Now he can rush in. He needs to rush in and eliminate the player evil. If he does not, he will give him an opening, maybe for a situation that he can heal himself up, or maybe go in for a drop shot, because we have seen people surviving with 10 or even lesser health have done clutches.
Agree with it. I'm looking forward to that happening again. But that's gonna be Destro there taking Blind
Okay.
Master down to the ground and eliminating him completely. So we already have lost one of their player. Crazy on the other side, he's caught in a crazy position because he's been surrounded by all enemies all around. Assault again. The fight that was happening a while ago, as you mentioned, nothing came out of that fight because the
Yeah.
players the players are still alive, and I don't know why did that happen, but again, that happened for sure. Crazy on this other side, as I said, he's been caught in a crazy position. He can be into more of difficulties. As you see, Twista is looking forward, is looking really confident on taking him down, and if that happens, I guess Team OH will be losing one of their players. Twista, he was just waiting for that information, but Hitman gives a big surprise from the behind window, and that's gonna be crazy getting eliminated.
And Evil will also finally Assault,
Okay.
finishing Evil, putting an end to the fight. He finds an UMP, immediately changes his weapon, and he eliminates it. And I think unfortunate for both the teams, but they've exchanged those casualties. The trade has been done from a different position from their end. But look at that. Immediately after getting a finish, they understand this is Miramar. Numbers do matter. You need to make sure you have numbers, you have resources, you have utilities. That's how you can win this map. Otherwise, you will lose, because here there are not a lot of places to hide from the opponents, and that's the reason Team SPERO, they're making a run for it. But Destro, after getting one finish for himself, he's isolated. He's the only lone player, but still he made sure that he stays tip top. Another player, I guess, was found. I'm not too sure, or maybe that was not too sure. Maybe a small glitch or something. But Delta, he also is looking good. But CHEMIN right now is playing a little bit split apart, but TSM, who we did talk about a lot in terms of showing up, let's see how they'll show up here, because right now looking at them, they do have the loot, but not too sure why they're running, or maybe for only one player, why he's running out in the open.
Was what did what did this happen?
I'm not too sure. I myself am confused
Oh,
because TSM are
I
also
yeah.
kind of moving around and running around, Darshita. Everybody is just running around on their, I would say, foot. It's okay. I cannot make an idea of what's going on right now. I mean, I understand it's the initial loot phases, but everybody is traveling around the map, not with vehicles.
Fact, right? The fact remains the same. When you are in the map of Miramar, as you said a while ago, Sam, it is important for your players to stick together and play.
Mm-hmm.
This map number matters the most, but sticking together and playing is what something you need to focus on. Not just one, two, but as the camera is switching and switching, we are seeing multiple players that are playing alone. On the other side, I said. I just gave that reaction out of nowhere because Revenge knocked his own teammate, and that was Akshay there. I mean, a while ago we saw Akshay just, you know, he was a bit confused on where he can go, but I don't know what happened there. Final boss with the grenade took Akshay down, maybe to take him out of some kind of glitch or something. But again, this damage to his to his armor and helmet can cause him a bit of problems further, right?
Darshita, good thing yeah, that you pointed that out. Akshay was caught. You saw. I'm not too sure how he got inside the building, but he was caught in I would say the stairwell. There was a couple of blockades, like some cupboard or something, and he had no opening to the rooftop. So I think that was a grenade to make sure that maybe those I would say cupboards or something can be broken and destroyed so that Akshay can pass through. Maybe that was the scenario. And unfortunate, I think those cupboards did not actually blow up, and eventually Akshay had to give away his life. So Revenge will be playing with a casualty of their own. maybe from the map. Not too sure. But now let's talk about the other fights that we want to see. 7C, they're here back again on Miramar. They'll be looking forward to getting another chicken dinner. Let's see if they'll be able to do it. Yesterday, they were aggressive, but in the last few fights, somewhere things got messed up and the players that they wanted, the number of, I would say, advantage in the players on the field were also not being found.
Looking forward to not make that mistake again and just shine bright as a star in this map of Miramar. Right now, I agree that it's really a very early phase to say that, but you know, right? It's like welcome to Miramar is what we keep on saying again and again. So maybe anything can happen at this point of time. On the other side, you talk about Kelts, it's gonna be all the players surviving from for them, but they do have vehicles all around, and that's gonna be only Rocks. He just sees one vehicle roaming around. He tries to take him down by firing some bullets, but that's him not getting any kind of connections. On the other side, revealing and compromising his location.
This is surprising, Darshita. Here in Miramar, 8 minutes done, and there was a fight which was initiated that was between Team SPERO as well as Old Hood. That's the only fight. After that, we are seeing people spotting each other out, but no fights happening. 7C here as well. They have a clue there should be somebody in a little bit in the terms of the long range fight, but they are also just looking forward to information. So I think until the second circle forms, we might be just looking at teams who are looking forward to loot, they're looking forward to get into the higher ground, and that's what is going to be happening. So let's see where the second circle will be shifting. What do you think, Darshita? Is it going to be taking a southern shift, or is it going to be holding a central shift? What are your thoughts?
Something that I'm looking forward to. Maybe Del Patron water treatment, San Martin. Okay, okay,
Southern
that's
central
interesting.
shift.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Right now, we have all the specified areas in the play zone. Somewhere down there, some areas of lost clearness as well. That is something that I'll be having my more attention toward. But coming back to the point, there's going to be a cluster happening any moment at the areas of Saint Martin, as n number of teams want to have the control of this entire area. And once you have the control of Saint Martin at this point of time, Sam, I guess that team will be the one team that is going to be really difficult to get eliminated. But and that's gonna be the two teams right now, 7C and Enigma. So a fight that is about to start any moment. Both of the teams, they are finding themselves down to the ground, but Eggy is having his eyes, or maybe his interested in fighting it out with the sides of Team Insane on the other sides.
Let's see how that fight is going to be panning, but main right now concentration should be on EXO making their way out of the circle. Already they do have a casualty that they do not have a player who has joined them, but now the casualty is being dealt from Enigma's end. Evo Edley confirms Siam, and this is all due to rotation, and now they are getting surrounded. Insane, if they're looking for to go up, 7C are waiting for them. So right now I think it should be coming to an end for Insane's fight on Miramar. Another player gets knocked, that's going to be Neo. They'll be looking forward to getting another finish as soon as possible. The last two surviving players is going to be Adi as well as player 5. Neo will also be confirmed, and unfortunate, but in the meantime, did a player from 7C also get knocked and finish? Yes, he's going to be that. Spray God gets knocked. They'll be looking forward to getting a finish on Spray God as well. Enigma not only coming through and pushing through and getting advantage of a fight from one team, they're looking forward to getting into another fight. They did do the damage, but immediately Eggy, he gets retaliated and knocked, but at the right time, he gets himself into a dip.
Us, but right now 7C is, they are into a bit of problems. They have lost Stray God, and right after losing one of your player, it is really very difficult for you to survive a fight where you are not just into a 3v3 fight, but moreover, it's like a three teams fighting it out. But out of nowhere, I see one team just disengaging this fight, and if I'm not wrong, that's going to be the sides of Team Insane, as they have lost two of their players. That's one more grenade coming in the ways of Adi. But again, Adi, he is a bit down in those dips, so that will be a position where he could dodge all the other grenades. 7C, okay, that's gonna be 7C on the other side, trying to dodge or trying to disengage of this fight so that they can find themselves into a bit of safe and secure positions later on.
Exactly, because this fight is getting a little bit delayed and prolonged because of the distance between these opponents. But Avi, who was knocked, he is brought back to life. So Enigma is still standing as a 4-man squad. But Adi and player 5, it's going to be difficult for them to make a run. I think the vehicles that they came through with, that has already been destroyed, or maybe the way I would say wheels have been bursted. So it is going to be difficult for Insane to get out from there. But if they can, they have to isolate the fights. But talking about fights and also victories, it is going to be OR who will be looking forward to one of their own in Miramar. You can see Jelly, the last surviving player in Erangel. He is right in front of our screens, but he's somewhere going around Miramar's map solo, or maybe he's just relaying information that the position I'm in, I cannot see any teammates or any squads. It should be a clean, I would say, pass through patch that they can progress and get into a hard compound. But again, we are seeing Enigma versus Insane. How long is this fight going to be delayed?
If this gets delayed for more than 1 minute now, there's a third party happening again, and that is for sure. This fight started off when Team Insane made an entry to this area, but 7C, they took one finish for themselves, they lost one of their players, and then they decided to disengage out of this fight. Rex is trying to go in for some more information, start for players, and there you go. A smoke wall is something that we were looking forward to. But again, till the fight comes to some results out there, we have tactical on the other side, and that's going to be an arm that bot is having. Krish, again, be
Okay.
careful because Rivalry was the very first team to get eliminated in the map of Erangel back there.
Ooh, he connects the damage on Krish. Unfortunate. I think it was right at the edge of the wall or
Yes.
something, because of which he did not get that knock. And yes, maybe the, I would say, the helmet equipment is a little bit better. Bombed, finally giving us that sniper action, scoped in and ready for another shot. This time, I think it should be a brilliant connection. Nikhil on the other end, he's also looking forward to finding Bomb. From where did that shot come? But Johnny, how did you get knocked to the zone so early on? This is just the third circle, and I'm surprised teams are falling to the zone right as of now, and it's going to be even surprising because if they're already falling now, just imagine when we are about to see the fifth circle forming through. But tactical, picking up a fight, making some noise, and not doing anything after that, you've given away your position not only to rivalry but to other teams as well, because you can see the other team that is going to be pushing, they're very close and they're getting their vehicles to push you.
Team and fight going on between them. It's getting too prolonged, and they need to understand to run or to make a run for their life. On the other side, as you're talking about tactical, there it's gonna be them fighting it out again. But finally, Insane Adi finds one on 7C. Okay, 7C just made their way out of that fight. So how did Insane find the players of 7C and took one player down? On the other side, always Bolte is all set and ready to take something for his team. But right now, 7C not really a good way to start their day. Team Insane, they have took one player down. They have stopped the rotation that Team 7C was making, and look at them. They just wanted to stop them. They did. They did the damage that they can. They took their vehicles and they are moving out of this fight, looking forward to a great position out there.
Everybody is looking forward to a great position, but I'm happy that Insane were able to make their way from Enigma's crosshairs. And I think Enigma also made a strong call of just rotating and getting into the circle, because the circle's position did change. But now the player was immediately revived from 7C. They'll be looking forward to getting into the vehicle and making their way in. But Eggy finds one with a sniper as well on HH carry. Brilliant sniper action coming on today. I mean, day 1 and day 2 very minimal, not even just one or two shots were picked from snipers. But day 3, we are seeing Miramar being used to its utmost potential and making use of its advantage of long range fights and the snipers coming through. But Jelly, he is preferring his trusty spray AR rifle. That's going to be the M4. He's done the damage on Pardhan, and Pardhan, you can see he is very close to the play zone, because of which EXO are just letting him go because they know they have no chance of reviving him. But in the meantime, in the Golden Miraro, it's going to be new player 1 who's trying to make a run for it, but you're out in the open. A straight road is where you're trying to travel from. But Jelly, he's coming in too much. He wants to pick the fight with new player as well as top fragger, because of which he could not commit to one and did not get even a single knock.
In return of that, Sammy has lost a lot of utilities. That is something that he needs to be really careful about. But right now, Enigma, the fight going on will lead eventually one player from Enigma down to the ground. That's going to be one eventually down. Eggy on the other side is looking forward to put a great cover fire for his team, and I guess he's successful in doing that. He's reviving his teammate back to his life, but Blind Spy on the other side will be taking one player down from the out will be caught by rivalry tryouts there, but tryouts he'll be revealing himself Atanki back there. He got a good position to walk around with, but again, it's a complete open area, and that is something these teams need to be careful about. After all this chaos happening. That's going to be Jelly with that grenade, but it was too long. He prolonged it too long, and that is why he'll be finding himself down to the ground. Team OR getting 2 finishes for themselves, need to get their players back to their life, looking good with their health, and after that, I guess they could fight it out against rivalry.
At the edge of the circle, as you said, they can fight it out, but they are looking to making sure the numbers are always there. They do not lose out a player just because he's already knocked. The push is coming in from Aditya. He gets spotted from a different angle and immediately backs off. Atanki, who is looking forward to providing cover fire, is being denied because of the ridges of Miramar. He needs to find a different position because all the players on the top are very, very low. Another push coming in from rivalry. It might do just the much needed damage and the finishes, but Tryouts immediately hears that one player has gotten into the vehicle and causes the distraction that was needed. The other two players who are on the top have complete no idea that Tryouts or rivalry itself from Tryouts, he's moved into a different position and has given the opening, but still Aditya managed to get knocked. An immediate finish coming through. Aru, where were you when you had to provide the cover, because of which OR will lose a player? But Team Forever, they're still going ham. They find a player from WALKOUTS ESPORTS. D-Sing coming in from top. He spots Jelly. He's just playing around with him around the buggy, and finally because of the low HP, he makes use of it and gets Jelly also down to the ground and gets confirmed.
Players down to the ground and confirmed already. So Team OR needs to continue to fight with two survivors. Maybe one with Atanki has been fought, and there you go, Atanki down to the ground. T confirming him. ZES on the other side will be taking a fight with Marcos. That's going to be T-Sing confirming Atanki. CHEMIN Sports Justin will be taking down Marcos. That's going to be Aru. A bit late, but starting it on a good note, will be taking one player down there. Nikhil, his location has been compromised. Carry with that vehicle explosion will be taking max touchdown. Aru will be fought, and there you go. Not for so long could he survive, and that's going to be Aru getting eliminated. But again, rivalry after getting a victory from the fights of side Team OR, they need to fight it out with CHEMIN Esports as well.
Exactly, CHEMIN, they have a higher ground for themselves. I mean, it's not like a hill that they have. It's just a little bit better in terms of angle compared to rivalry. But if CHEMIN are successful in this fight, not only do they come on top of a rivalry, but there is another team right next to them. It's going to be Team SPERO. But what is CHEMIN doing? They understand the circle is the most thing, or the majority that they have to prefer over any other team's fights. They have to pay attention to it, pay respect to it, and start making their way in. But before that fight, we're seeing TSM, they blast the vehicle of the player from 7C. That's going to be 7C Prince. They don't give him a chance to even get inside the circle. A brilliant denial coming through. Shadow OG making it happen. Gets the first finish, spots the next two players. He's looking forward to doing the damage on them as well. But as we see, the dips and the ridges giving a little bit of a survival situation for the teams.
Jord, his vehicle is just flying there. He's just like all in the air, looking forward to take something for his team. But TSM, again, they need to be really careful that they are playing on the edges of blue, and this is not a position that you see yourself. Yes, TSM Ninja Jord, he made his way to the zone, but again, he needs to get all of your players inside the zone to make sure that you are safe and secure. On the other side, Enigma is looking forward to a fight where their utilities are completely damaged. Players with a lot of damage, but again, Knock is not something that is secured for himself.
The knock has still not come, but I'm surprised. We are at the 5th circle and now we are seeing 9 to 8 teams. But previously in the 4th and the 3rd circle itself, we are very close to seeing 8 teams surviving. So let's see how this is going to be going in terms of the battle, because you can see the kill feed is just running. Team Forever, unfortunate for them, they'll be eliminated at the I think 8th or 9th position with just 7 finishes. I mean, brilliant play from them. They did try to do as much as possible, but getting eliminated at the 9th or the 10th position will only yield them 1 placement point. But talking about EXO as well, they've also lost their players. It's going to be the last and only sole survivor. But before that, let's talk about CHEMIN, who was sneakily making their way in and paid attention to the circle and did come in, but they spot the player from Team SPERO, that was Hitman, but immediately get retaliated when their spray did not connect, and a brilliant knock. But because they have the ridge under control and the position, they will not be finished off. They'll be patching themselves up and bringing them back to a 4-man squad.
It will be, but again, look at that. All the players to have their crosshair set towards them, so it can be a bit of difficult for them to survive entirely. Again, the play zone is going to get a shrink, and those warehouse is something that is, I'm looking, okay. Finally, my prediction being heard by the BGMI gods, being completely head towards those inner wall covers, but TSM Shadow Gino complete area will be punished by Enigma Eggy for his move, and that's gonna be Kevin Esports just in there taking tactical hitman down to the ground. TSM losing one of their players completely, if I'm not wrong. Ninja Jod is low on his HP, needs to patch himself up before doing anything else. But Enigma, they are looking good with the number of finishes that they have, and that is in total 9 for themselves. Evo, they look at him, some predictable sprays is what he's looking forward to, but blind Killua was not sure of the player standing right behind him, and that is the reason he'll be finding himself down to the ground.
Killua is knocked, yes, but in the meantime, Spy is looking forward to providing the cover. He knocks two players, Evo Italy as well as Rex. Eggy immediately trying to retaliate, but Spy OP's concentration is to just get those finishes. In the meantime, Blaster is reviving Killua, bringing this back into a 3v2 fight. But the other player who got knocked very close, where Rex was knocked, he has been immediately revived. That's going to be Eggy. Avi was also very close, but immediately knocks him. Evo Italy, right now, I think he's surviving. They'll be looking forward to finishing off Evo Italy as soon as possible, and if they're able to do that, it will be good. But Eggy has also pushed up here, very close. Hitman gets finished off with the play zone. Rex will fall again. Unfortunate. Kevin fighting and finding TSM no footstep and gets a confirmation on that. Evo Italy will also be confirmed. Rex will also fall apart, and the last surviving player was Eggy. Gets caught from K47 from an angle further down the line, and Tactical again making their entrance in the last fight. Darshita, they did that yesterday as well, day before as well, and they're doing it in every Miramar match.
Happening every day, as you mentioned. Tactical getting 4 for themselves, but losing 2 of their players is not a good deal to play around with. Blaze OP on the other side, they have lost 2 of their players, gained 1 finish for themselves. Looking forward to just some good grenade connections, but again they are getting nothing out of that. If we talk about the play zone right now, sides of team CHEMIN Esports, I would say, is looking really good with 8 finishes, 4 on 4 surviving players, and a good chunk of the play zones for themselves, where they at least have some artificial covers to work around. But again, you are in a complete open area, and that is something you need to be careful about. Blaze will be blasting that vehicle right exactly in front of him, so that vehicle could provide him at least some soft covers to work around with. Ninja Chod on the other side is trying to find for some more information, but again, the smoke wall right exactly in front of him is something that is denying reach and everything. But Delta PG will be caught by that K47, and that will be Delta PG down to the ground. K47 is trying his level best to eliminate him completely, but locating himself will be a big mistake. Blind will be capitalizing on that mistake, and that's going to be one player down from the sides of Team Tactical.
The last surviving player, he's going to be Hitman. He's playing in uh, uh, he's playing inside. He's playing in a cover which nobody has any clue of, but blind, the position that they're holding, especially Spy, he needs to be commended for his efforts, because he might not be picking up a fight right now, but previously when the chance was there, he was the main man in doing the damage on Enigma, and Enigma then started falling apart. Now Hitman throws down a smoke, I guess, and yes, he might give away his position, goes in for a peek, and now he's looking forward to getting a lot more information. He's understood that there are grenades coming through. I mean, smokes, yes, but he understands that there are going to be some or the other player pushing through that smoke. Will he be able to find those pixels and connect those shots is going to be the major question, but as soon as he does that, he gives away his position. But right now, the only two teams who have the circle advantage is going to be TSM as well as the last surviving player from Tactical. Hitman does spot a player, but immediately finishes off Destro. That was brilliant coming in from his end, and now he drops them into just a two-man squad. But TSM plays also making life difficult for Blind as Spy OP falls.
He falls down to his death. Blaze OP with that grenade is trying to confirm the players, but again, he needs to be careful about his back, because that's going to be CHEMIN Esports making an entry towards the play zone. On the other side, Killua, he is sure of the position that Ninja Jod is holding. He'll be trying to give him some damages, will be successful in that, but not successful in knocking him down to the ground. Killua, once again, a grenade is something that he's looking forward to, goes boom towards Ninja Jod, and that's going to be Ninja Jod down to the ground, trying to confirm him, but that is not going to work in his favor.
I mean, right now, TSM, the only hope is Blaze OP, and Blaze OP, he has a chance of revival, but I'm not too sure if he has any smokes to deploy so that Ninja Jot can safely cross in between the barrels, and if there is a situation that he can do it, they will be looking forward to saving himself up. But right now, it looks like it is not going to be a position or even a chance that Blind want to give up, and that's going to be a confirmation on Ninja Jot. So right now, it's going to be a 2v3v1 situation in this top 3 teams that is going to be fighting it out, and out of the blue, where CHEMIN had all 4 players surviving, the majority advantage has come to Blind. You saw Blind getting an initial knock. Now Blind Spy, who was knocked, who has been revived and brought back to good health, immediately finds a quick knock on CHEMIN's player. That's going to be Justin. Now come back, he'll be looking forward to trying something new, but Blaster is just dragging the attention. The grenade does not even connect. It was just a waste of a grenade, and he's still jump peeking, looking forward to information. But let's see if Spy's grenade connects. But Blaze OP, he's just playing very slow. It seems as if Blaze OP is already gone. But what is he waiting for? He's waiting for an opportunity and opening when he can destroy both the teams.
Of information there can cause a lot of problems, Sam. You know, right? You're giving away your location, and that can be really dangerous. Again, Blaster is not stopping, he's just looking forward to jump as high as he can and find himself something. But look at the health his teammate has. Spy, he needs to patch himself up as soon as possible. Come back there. We are expecting a comeback from you, my friend. We are looking forward if comeback can do that for his entire team, because it's a huge responsibility that these both surviving single players have on themselves. But again, now for the fact that Blind has 3 surviving players, I completely understand that they have the manpower standing advantage. But if we talk about CHEMIN Esports and Team TSM, they both are holding the angular direction. So if they both push from different angles, it could be Team Blind getting devastated completely at this
Exactly.
point of time. But again, if that doesn't work in the favor of Team CHEMIN Esports and TSM, it can be dangerous for them. One grenade goes from the sides of Spy there. This is a bit of damage, but that's only thing that he needs to satisfy himself with.
Exactly, he's not getting the knock. Another one going through, but the zone is pushing, and that's what he'll be more than happy about. He does have kind of an idea where the player can be, and using the TPP, now he knows, and it is going to be Blaze OP finishing him off, and the zone will be finishing off Blaze OP himself. And a brilliant chicken dinner coming in for Team Blind. The way this team played, we did not see them in the early stages, but in the last few ones, they played out of their mind, got this victory for themselves. And what a way to start I would say again, it's still the start. The first map came in Celsius's name, and now this is going to be in Blind's name written all over. And what a way to start day 3, the day of comebacks. We are already seeing a couple of teams making their way, hopefully into the top 16, because right now we still don't have a clue about the scoreboard. But the main clue that you viewers are going to be having is now the second match is done, the third match is about to start, and it's going to be router time.
Make sure that you guys have router already downloaded in your phones. I mean, I do have it already, because at night it's like just waiting and watching the streams back again. So make sure that you guys have router, because we will be switching on to router exclusively for the last 3 maps. But again, what a day it has been. I mean, we just have started. We didn't even end it. We are not even in the midway. We just have started, and we just feel like what an amazing way to start this evening. The way Blind has played, they were pretty confident for the fact that, we already have the play zone. So why not just wait? Just because of, we know, right? Because of one single mistake, there can be a huge loss. And the loss of chicken dinner is not something that Team Blind was looking forward to. So again, as I said a while ago, CHEMIN Esports and Team TSM, if there could be a probability chances of them pushing together, that is next to impossible. But again, if they could have done that, it could have changed something. But what happened? The play zone forced the player of CHEMIN Esports to move around, and that time he was caught by Blaze OP. Blaze, before going to his death, he made sure to write the death of comeback there, and it was Team Blind getting the winner chicken dinner.
I mean, brilliant thought coming in from TSM. If you have a chance to finish yourself in the second position, it's still a runner-up spot, right? I mean, if you see at the prize pool, you get 2,50,000 if you come into the second position. So he's already in his eye for making sure that the runner-up spot is at least fixed if they do not get to the first position. But in the semifinals, that does not matter, because as we said, semifinals, the only guarantee that you can make your way is through the grand finals if you come in the top 16. But it all depends, because there are still rest 23 teams that TSM needs to fight out with. And I would say this is for every other team. You pick up a name, all those other teams, they have to fight against them. So 23 teams including themselves is going to be 24 teams. I mean, yes, we would have to say goodbye to 8 teams out of these 24, but you see the action. So I would say the best teams who have put up their best game in the semifinals are the ones who will be making their way in, and I'm looking forward to how that is going to be happening. But what a map of Miramar. I would, my mind was going for Enigma's end to get a winner winner chicken dinner, but it did not actually go to winner winner chicken dinner for Enigma. How will it actually pan out? I'm not too sure, Darshita. Let's see how it's going to be going in the upcoming matches, as we are going to be switching into the third match. Then maybe a lot of changes can happen. But the points, this is where it will matter. I do not want anybody missing out to be in the top 16 by a single point and then feeling bad for themselves.
Double digits is something that I'm looking forward to. Not just me, but I guess each and every team out there is looking forward to gaining double digits on that placement point, because you know, right, at the end of the day, the number of finishes you have plus the number of placement points you have is what matters the most here. Even if you miss one part, that is, even if you miss the placement points and have good finishes, that doesn't matter. Even if you have good placement points and don't have finishes, it is going to get more and more difficult. So as we keep on saying it again and again, a balance between both of them is something that is needed the most at this point of time. 15 points is what you get if you are placed at the very first position, 12 at the second, 10 at the third, but so on, you get 8th and 6th. Even to be very specific, I guess top 5 is even a good place to be. But after that, on the 6th position you get 4, on the 7th you get 2, 8th to 12th you get one single point, 13 to 20 a position where you don't have to be no matter what, because you ain't getting anything here.
As you said, if you're in the 30 to the 20th position, it does not matter. It's of no use. But yes, we are seeing a lot of these teams having a lot of finish points. I mean, that's telling us one thing for sure. It's going to be the aggression that they have. I would say save that aggression, because you need placement points. It's not only that the finish points will help you in getting to the stage of victory, you need a lot in terms of placement points as well, because a couple of teams, as we are seeing, they're making their comebacks as well. So these things can actually, I would say, trickle down. As you said, you might be losing just because of a single point, and where will it be affecting the chance of getting yourself into the grand finals, where you will be having an access to the prize. And see, if you are placing yourself in the top 6, for all the efforts and all the fights that you have gone through, you will have a chance to get something in terms of spoils at the end of the tournament.
You do get right. Prize pool, I mean, such a huge prize pool is what we have at this moment, not just for the entire team, but maybe at the end of the day, it's like individual prizes is what we even have. So it is going to be more and more interesting. But again, letting everyone know that you aren't getting rewarded after being placed at the first position right after the end of semi-finales, because after this you make your way to the grand finals, and after that somewhere you unlock these prizes for yourself. So right now the main focus of these players should be placing themselves in the top 16, if I'm not wrong, to at least unlock the prizes, and then it depends whether will they get a chance of winning it or no. But highlights is what we already have on our screens, and something that we have been waiting for such a long time. So it all started with Older getting into a fight, one player being confirmed by the sides of Assault. That was Evil back there.
Oldhood and Team Spiro, they did have exchanges in different locations, but nonetheless, then we saw Enigma making sure they cause a little bit of a chaos in between 7C as well as Insane, but somehow they let go of both these teams. 7C were the first to, I would say, disengage, then Insane, they didn't disengage, but I think Enigma just let them go. But Rivalry, we saw them trying to fight out with OR. Unfortunate for them, but yes, the initial damage they did on OR, they did get a couple of those frags, but then you saw it was kind of a third party fight that I'm now able to see in this replay. A brilliant try coming in from them. They did do the damage on OR, and you can see Rivalry pushing one after another, but the main, I would say, problem that happened for Rivalry is pushing one after another as a solo players. Rather, you can see at the right edge of the circle, every player is together. So All they had to do is play together, make sure it works out, rather than losing those players and have casualties. If you did play together, you wouldn't have had any casualties. But every time anybody wanted to make a run with their vehicle, they got denied. But this is where everything turned in Blind's favor. They spotted two players from Enigma who wanted to slam in, denied both the players. But yes, Eggy was looking forward to helping his teammate, but then look at Killua providing the much needed cover and making the damage happen and getting Blind their victory.
Half of the job was done itself, and the player right at the up took two players down, and that was the point. I realized that okay, that's already done. But tactical hitman, he provided a great surprise, I would say, for the sides of CHEMIN Esports. Destro there with a grenade that was all the way set by TSM. It was difficult for the players to survive. Blind on the other side, as I was talking about it, they had a great advantage of the play zone comeback. He was trying to make a comeback for the entire team, but that did eventually work into his favor, and that is where Team Blind got their much needed winner chicken dinner. But again, we are going to be switching on to Router any moment now, because it's the time for the third match, a classic experience. The map of Erangel. What do you have to say about the fly path? Because the last time you predicted it was something nearby, so I would really like to know, Sam. What do you think? What the fly path is going to be, or maybe the upcoming play zone, or something that you can give us the leaks about?
I think flight path is kind of uh, okay. I'm right now thinking too much about the flight path. As you
Okay.
said, I've done the right judgments. I do not want to make a wrong call, and then I'll be a little bit embarrassed. But why not? If it's BGMI gods and gods are making that happen, it's up to them. So my flight path thought would be, I think it should be a diagonal one coming through. I mean, that can change up things and might be a northern favored flight path, but we will be seeing how it is going to be panning out. But I want to talk about how Miramar went through, because until the fifth circle we saw 10 teams still surviving, whereas on the first match, I would say fourth or third itself, we had seen half of the lobby being emptied out. Every team was looking very aggressive, but till the 10 mark line and especially 10-minute mark and also the second circle rolling in, till then we did not see any of these teams, I would say, fighting it out. They were just playing on their rotations. They were just making sure they had utilities, resources. But yes, one more thing I do want to point out is we did see a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of the sniper action coming in Miramar, which we missed from a long time. It is kind of somewhere, I would say, diminished. Also, I can use the word disappeared from BGMI. Unfortunate, but whenever these kind of situations do come in front of us, it does, I would say, kind of put us in awe. And we also love it. We did see, I would say, the Car 98 being brought out. We did see the OM being brought out. But yes, not, I would say, a finish, but at least close to a knock. So a little bit happier at the end of Miramar, but maybe there is another Miramar coming through. Maybe finally that time we see a sniper finish as well.
Looking forward to that. I mean, as I've been saying it daily, I am looking forward. It's like each day I get up, I do pray that please get me a sniper action. Please get
Okay.
players down with some sniper action, because I personally love the thing a lot. But again,
Yes.
Miramar, as you said, it was completely at a piece at the beginning itself. We just thought like, okay, the players are just looking forward to, maybe find themselves a good position. Even we saw some players being completely isolated. As we keep on saying about that, this is Miramar, and at this point of time, you guys need to stick together no matter what, because you can get third partied at any moment, and at that point of time, you need a cover fire, which is the most important. We saw that happening with the sides of Team OR. They went into a fight, but what happened was a cover fire missing, and at that point of time, I guess Jelly was eliminated, and everything just didn't work in their favor, and Team OR got eliminated completely.
Unfortunate for OR, but they have another match, I think, to play.
Yes, they do have
Yes, they do have another
two
Miramar
more,
match
I
that they'll
guess.
be playing. Exactly. Four matches in a day. They've played the two matches. The third match, I presume OR is not going to be playing. I mean, the entire Group B will not be playing. So we're going to be seeing A and C groups play. I mean, if I'm wrong, again, we'll look at the schedule where we'll get a good idea about the teams. but I hope they have a better situation. I mean, Miramar, it's something that you cannot predict, Darshita. So we cannot even hold it against the team that you did not think a lot about it. You were the one making the wrong calls or something like that. It was just the Miramar map, how it played, and especially the circles shifting. Even the last ones we saw, tactical came out of nowhere. None of us even had the slightest clue that tactical was still surviving, and a tactical move that they pulled off. I mean, the name is already there, and they're already doing those moves, meaning that they have planned really, really well on Miramar. But somewhere on Erangel, I would want to see that name popping more up and hopefully be in the top 16 and walk their way into the grand finals, because that's where, as we keep talking about it, you have a chance to get into the prize. But insane, I mean, we did see them get their chicken dinner yesterday. I think it was on Erangel. Yes, it was on Erangel. We are heading over into Erangel again, but Miramar is somewhere we have not seen a steady foot from them. Here also, we saw them being eliminated from Team Forever. But yes, Team Forever also later on got eliminated, but it was in the later, like, top 6 or top 7 team stages, not before that. So Team Forever do not need to be worried about that, but I would say Insane needs to worry about their position on how they will be progressing, because if they don't maintain their spot, because yes, they are in the first page, but they were at the bottom 8th position yesterday when we saw the scorecard. So if they don't gain points and if they're being eliminated like this, they'll just keep losing points, Darshita, and maybe even pushed off the second page and get over to the third one, and then we see them Insane maybe even not performing.
Not a place to be in, right? The
Mhm.
second page and the third page, it is like a point of discussion when it comes to the last side of the overall standing. But again, as we discussed, the second side even is more important, because at the second
Yes.
side of the overall standings we see a lot of twists and turns happening, like with one map being done and dusted, we see a new team coming up out of nowhere, and a team that is being consistent enough to get a position in the top 16 being pushed down. So I guess these are some things that this teams need to be focusing on. Getting a position in the first page itself could help them, because it's already the second last day of the tournament, and eventually if they don't get it done by the end of today's day, making a comeback tomorrow, I feel it is a bit difficult. But again, anything can happen, so maybe no predictions again from my
Mm-hmm.
side.
I agree with you. There'll be no predictions even from my end. It's not going to be that easy in terms of making a prediction, right, Darshita? And eventually, as you said, right, when we make a prediction and something goes south, we kind of, like, teams disappear, right? When they get eliminated, we disappear. We just keep quiet and hope that even our audience never paid attention to it. But it does happen. Jokes and something down the line is something that we make sure that our audience are also engaged. So right now I want to engage our audience also in a conversation in between us. I want to know what they are thinking right as of now. Who do they think that are going to be the next upcoming teams in these last 3 matches? Because today it's not 4 matches, 5 matches will be played. We've already seen the first 2 matches. Third match will be starting. It's going to be Erangel. Who do you think in these last 3 matches is going to be getting the chicken dinner? So you start making your speculations, and we will see how it's going to be going down. Whether it's going to be the team that you thought or it's going to be some other team, and who do you think maybe able to pull off a 30 bomber. I'm sure that one team on today's date has pulled off a 30 bomber. I mean, we have not got a confirmation, but yes, I'll be going back to our team and making sure we get that idea whether we have a 30 bomber, whether we have actually broken any records for AMD Skyesports Pro League. A couple of those questions will be in our minds, but there's just quite few seconds before we switch to Erangel. But before that, we will be switching completely to router. So make sure exclusive viewing will be done on a router itself. So you need to switch over, and along with that, 9 different languages are already going on from the start on router. So as I said, do shower some love on all the other 9 different languages. Support the casters from various discs just like us. They are also sitting through the journey that you guys are enjoying. They guys are also rejoicing because you guys are also showing the support in the chat section. But now get ready, because these 3 last matches is going to be super intense.
You always keep on saying, Sam, the last three matches are something that are the most important part about the entire tournament. This is where things started to get heated up, and as we said, it's the second last day of semi-finales. There are chances of we seeing many different kinds of things. So Erangel, Miramar, and Erangel is all the last three things that we have. But looking forward to the upcoming map, Erangel, I guess. A flyby that I'll be expecting at this moment is going to be the one from maybe Severny to down Lipoka or something, and then the play zone going to military base. I mean,
Okay.
uh,
You're
anyway,
already putting a lot of I would say ifs and buts here and there. So you're already putting yourself in trouble. So just make it easy. If this happens, you know,
okay.
right? You will feel bad. That's the reason I put myself in a clear, Darshita. I made a simple decision of saying it's going to be diagonal. I don't want to do anything else.
So if the fly path goes my way, the way I want it to be, I am having a party from your side. But jokes apart, coming back to the things that we were discussing,
Okay.
military base, the bridge is something that I'm looking forward to, because again, when you talk about bridge, I mean, this is very interesting, right? This is
I
just so
agree with
interesting.
you. I second you on that. I also want to see a bridge fight because there's going to be a lot of bridge holds. We did see a couple of them climbing on top of it and holding it off. And who can forget Destro pulling off an insane 1v3, 1v4 close it was. One more player was a little bit further away. But right now, the match that we were waiting for. And see, this is why I kept it simple, Darshita. It's going to be diagonal. I did not mention whether it's going to be from north to south or south to north. It's going to be from south to north. Not the exact diagonal I want, and also not an exact split of the map. Again, the eastern edges are left a little bit short. So we'll ask the question on Edge because he's going to be your co-caster as well as co-pilot for this match. So I'm welcoming you, Edge, and welcome to the desk for the first time on this AMD Skyesports Pro League powered by Router. The desk is all yours, my friend.
Well, thank you for that one. It does feel good to be here on the BGMI English test alongside with you, Sam. I mean, I'll see you later on, but now it's going to be Dutch and me taking you through the third